find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Newhoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
2 after a great season opener at Suzuka 1 week ago, where Gabriel Hopp took the race victory by just over 2 seconds. It's time to go over to Road America for the first of 3 American rounds of this championship. It's myself, Ewan O'Leary, alongside James Parfitt for this round of the championship. There you can see what we've got ahead of us. The first 5 weeks of the championship, all back to back to back, with Road America, followed by Spa next week, Silverstone and Sebring. This car, in many ways, James, is sort of feels and looks and behaves, I think, as a spectator anyway, a little bit like the IndyCar. IndyCar racing synonymous for this circuit, so you'd imagine if 1 + 1 = 2, then these two cars, or this car even should go well round here in terms of racing and how it behaves.
It should do, you're right. And I think my fear, right, is we were talking about it briefly in the green room before we got completely off topic. Is the fact that this car was quite difficult to drive, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Let's be real about it. And I think this is just below the W13, maybe one just below the IndyCar. Well, as Anthony Zitch literally just pointed out live on the broadcast there, of just how difficult it is. And I don't know, I might have to have a go in this. I think that's got to be the thing. I might have to have a go in the car and see how I get on with it.
Yeah, why not?
Oh
dear,
else
and there,
right
that Hopp
him.
in the background, or Lindler, might be Gabriel Hopp, I think, in the background there, who's just gone for a spin as well. It is indeed. The race winner 1 week ago, but look at his practice times at the moment. He's only down in 7th position, at the good 7 tenths away from Jeff Groff, the reigning champion, who is currently at the top of the standings. Yeah, but I think Hopp will be a little bit worried about the qualifying session coming up here. Over the course of the last hour, only gone 7th.
Yeah, it's not been a great practice session. There's been quite a few people off the side of the circuit. I think one of the things is a lot of people are applying the gas far earlier than they need to, or that they should do, really, because I think some of them are slamming rather than being a little bit gentle on the throttle. You know, as we saw with Anthony Zitch there, literally applied it and around he went. He's now come into the pits and decided actually enough is enough. But they've just got to be really nice. This car, the only way I can explain this, and you and I, you know, me and you have been together a long time, we've worked together for ages, is you've got to Netflix and chill it. You have to treat it nice and be gentle with it. It cannot be taken out on a nightclub. It needs to be at home, sat on the sofa, treated nice for it to work for you, if you get what I mean.
I'm glad you explained, because after the first line, I had no idea where you were going with that analogy.
It needs to be gently played, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean, actually. Yeah, it's one of the stranger analogies, but it works. I think over the line for Victor Chamorro.
Give me credit. I know it works. I'm just.
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
It's very well done. Victor Chamorro goes over the line and goes to the top of this practice session. By the way, on the back of this, of course, we'll have the qualifying session very shortly, and then the race ahead of us, of course, as well. Gabriel Hopp, as I say, won the race 1 week ago. 2.1 seconds was his margin over Pablo Arribe in the end. Then it was Jeff Groff, who is the reigning champion, but the star next to his name suggests the pole position, which he gets an extra point for. Lucas Moody finished 4th ahead of Victor Chamorro, who we've just seen go over the line there. Christopher Sears just finished outside the top 5, with Brian Long just over 30 seconds off the win. Greg Doucette finished in 8th place ahead of Christian Jasper and Bronson Stafford. They rounded up the top 10 over a minute down. Matt Dinsmore was 11th ahead of Frankie Brzezowski, who is doing a lot better in this practice session so far. He's 3rd now. Anthony Zitch, who we just saw a few moments ago, was the final driver on the lead lap in 13th. Joshua Benjamin, Nicholas Carangis, Bryce Benton and William Love were all 1 down. Carson Keane retired, as did Samuel Marv, Zachary Lindler and Matthew Rodriguez. Glad to report as well, I think the biggest positive we can say going into this one is that we've got 21 cars on the grid again, and that's a great thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Brian messaged me saying thank you for what we said last week about, the fact he's probably one of the most hardworking managers or league owners that we've seen. And he's done it again, and long shall this continue. I really hope this league takes off because, as I say, it's taken him so long to get here. But yeah, absolutely amazing. We've still got 21 cars, 21 or 22 cars out on track. Great job for Brian and the guys in the background there, all of his admin team doing an exceptional work on it. So fair play to them. And looking forward to seeing how this season turns out.
Absolutely. It's great to see all the drivers making their way out on the outlap now before they get their actual attempts at qualifying. It's going to be an interesting session as well. The gap between the top 6 or 7 was not very big, so I think it's going to be an exciting session. And yeah, I think 21, it's an ideal number in terms of it's not too many as well. I mean, if we got this series to double its numbers all of a sudden, I think over 40 for this car, this speed and this type of circuit, especially Road America, and then maybe some of the other ones later on, like Misano, Cota, Sebring, some of those. It almost be a problem having too many. 20 is a really, really nice number to have for an open wheel series of this speed, I think. And it's an absolutely wonderful thing that we've got that for this round of the championship as well. Over the line first then is going to be Chris Sears by the looks of things to set the benchmark. He's already going over the line now, and he's going to set us off here, set the benchmark. So heading into the fog, and it is very misty, isn't it? I bet it's not very warm on the circuit, but I can when I tuned into this server just in the practice session there about 20 minutes ago or so, I actually thought it was raining. Because it was so misty and so dark, but actually it's just the conditions, which are down in the low 70s on the circuit. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I think going back to what you picked up on the size of the grid, everybody loves a 40 car, 50 car, 60 car grid. We've done broadcasts, myself and you, that have had 50 odd cars in, and it's been manic. Absolutely chaotic. There's been bits carbon going everywhere. But you are right. There are circuits that really only just probably would have good racing round about 22 cars, which is what we've got. So I think although, Brian probably would love 40, 50 car grids, I just don't think they would work in this car. So I've got to agree with you. I think this is the right number of cars for an open wheeler. And let's face it, real life F1 hasn't got any more than 22. So what does it really matter if we haven't got any more than 22?
I think the most we've ever had in my lifetime is 24, maybe 26. So yeah, you get the idea. It's a good place to be as we watch Chris Sears now go through the final corners. Of course, he's setting a lot of purple laps and sectors because he is the first out there. Victor Chamorro, though, is going quickly, and that's legitimate. That first sector, purple first sector, is legitimate from him. Chris Sears will set the benchmark for us, though. We will see quicker times than that. Victor Chamorro out of the final corner then and up towards the line here as well. It's maybe fallen apart for him at the very end here as he goes over the line. Victor Chamorro will go into third place, just in behind Jeff Groff there. Jasper goes into third. So Sears actually has set an early benchmark that people are struggling to beat now. Gabriel Hopp goes over the line. He does have a purple sector, the third last, and now he does go to the top.
Yeah, 141.332. Great lap from Gabriel Hopp there. The laps are going to come in thick and fast at this moment in time. So we'll try and catch up with as many as we can coming to the end of their lap as Felipe Salvino is also on. He's coming up by the carousel at the moment in a strikingly green and yellow Brazilian livery for the man that's from Brazil. Fair play. So yeah, great lap. I'd be interested to see what Mr. Carson Keen's lap turns out like.
Well, given that it's already gone on for about a minute longer than it should have, not very well by the looks of this. I don't know what's happened to him.
No, he's been off track. He has been off.
He has, yeah. So he's clearly capable of going quick. There's a purple second to last sector, but This is not going to be the lap for him. Chris Sears is going quickly again here. Maybe I brushed over his chances a little bit too quickly earlier on. 2 purple sectors now in a row. He's got them lined up. He's got his ducks in a row, and now he's firing towards the line. Out of the final corner, he now goes as this track will continue to get quicker and quicker and quicker as they go through the session. Then they'll get more comfortable, of course, on the low fuel qualifying run. Chris Sears over the line. Just go back to the top. Jeff
41.
also purple at the moment in the second sector. He goes up the hill and towards the line. It's Lucas Moody, I think, is going to improve, and he does go into 4th place. What about Jeff Groff? He does go to the top. Pole position 1 week ago, and he's back to the top again now, Groff. Over the line. Oh dear, and a big crash for Moody, I'm afraid. That's the end of his session in the best of 6th place. Brzezowski improved, but he gets bumped down by Hop, who's now 3rd. Ahead of Brzezowski and Valenzuela, who both just improved as well. These purple sectors are being shared about amongst the very best. And at the moment, we've got a qualifying session that has the top 5 covered by less than 2 temps.
Yeah, that is absolutely chaotic as these guys going over the line. Literally, they must be practically on the same part of the racetrack as each other because the times were coming in thick and fast there. And Carson Keen's still not got a time on the board there. Bronson Stafford is also gone up. He's in 13th place. Victor Chamorro's not improving on his current spot at the moment. Carson Keen needs to get something on the board. He needs to get a banker lap into Carson Keen because at the moment he hasn't got anything.
Exactly. He is going nowhere as things stand. Looks like he's had a poor start to the lap as well, but we'll see where this opening lap gets him as he sets his first time. We've also waiting for Bryce Benton to come over the line and Joshua Benjamin as well, although they all out on the circuit. 7th place for Key. Ropp is going purple in the 3rd sector, so he's going okay. Here he is in the final couple of corners, looking to extend that margin at the front of the field. As I say, pole position at Suzuka, but not the best race for the reigning champion. He's got work to do. He knows he's got a fight on his hands this season, that's for sure. Up towards the line he'll go now. Can he extend the margin? Because he probably needs to over some of those behind him. It's a new fastest lap for Jeff Groff and the first 40 we've seen today. Brzezowski was going quicker. 2 purple sectors, but it's pit lane at the end of his lap for him, I'm afraid. Hop does improve. He's into the 40s as well, but it's only 2nd.
Yeah, Brzezowski was going really quick, and unfortunately, he did this. Final corner. He come out of the final corner and hit the grass. There you go. And unfortunately, nosedived that car. But he did have purples across the board from that point onwards. Carson Keen now in 9th. He's got some greens going on quite nicely. He needs this. He got off-tracked, did him before. And unfortunately, that's why his laps, he did not get anything on there. But he needs to do this. They've got 4 laps within 10 minutes. So they should have enough time. I was trying to do the maths earlier and yeah, it was just too late. My brain couldn't work it out. But Carson Keen should get a decent lap time on the board now.
Should be possible. But he will have one more go after this, I think, if he wants it. Although he might run out of time. Over the line for Keen. Going to be very close. Does he improve? Yes. 8th place for Carson Keen. Jeff Groff also still out there, but I wouldn't have thought he's improving much at this stage in the session. Pablo Valenzuela might be. He's in 6th place at the moment and did impress in practice, but not necessarily pulled it all together in qualifying just yet. What about Jeff Groff here? Is he going any quicker? I don't think so. No, not quite.
Yes.
Oh, no, he does go quicker. Wow, excuse me. He does go quicker. A 40.7 for Groff. And Valenzuela does improve as well. He goes up to 2nd. What about last week's race winner, Gabriel Hop, who got very close? No, he does have it. He got very close on his 3rd time. But now he's got it ahead of Jeff Groff. And he may well have pole unless Lucas Moody comes out of nowhere and steals it. Is he going to get there at the very end?
7th.
No. 7th place, despite a couple of purple sectors in there. Lucas Moody goes up to 7th. Oh, by the way, Brzezowski's going to be ruining that error he made in the final corner. He's down to 6th now.
Yep, and he was flying on that lap as well for Brzezowski. And he's going to be sat there gutted about what's going on. Victor Chamorro's got about 20 seconds to get that car around the final corner and up over the line. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember if it cuts off straight away or if they're allowed to finish their lap like we've seen in other series. I can tell you one thing, Carson King can really do with this. He's got 4, 3. Does he allow to finish a lap? I cannot remember. My brain's gone. It must allow him to finish. No!
Oh, no, he's not quite got there. He's just misjudged it. He's not quite got there. He was improving there for sure, but he'll be on row 5 instead. And by the way, Chamorro did improve very late on there too, by the way, to get up to 4th position. But anyway, let's have a look at that starting grid. It's Gabriel Hopp who takes pole after his win 1 week ago, ahead of the pole sitter 1 week ago, Jeff Groff. Pablo Valenzuela and Victor Chamorro ran out row 2 with Chris Sears and Christian Jasper on row 3. Frankie Brzezowski with that crash through the final corner is 7th, ahead of Lucas Moody. Carson Keane just ran out of time there, and so is 9th, ahead of Anthony Zeitz. Then it's Brian Long and Zachary Lindler on row 6. And by the way, we're still within a second. Now Nicholas Carangis, 1.0 down. Manuel Amo Vargas is 14th, ahead of Samu Marr and William Love. Greg Doucette and Bronson Stafford share row 9, ahead of Felipe Salvino and Bryce Benton, with Matthew Rodriguez, the final driver, to set a time, and I believe Joshua Benjamin, who is going to race but just did not qualify. So 22 drivers on the grid and an important start for everyone coming up.
Oh, they've got to get it off the line. You've got to get this car off the line. If you bog down, you are going to get swamped. So they need to make sure they can get it off the line straight off the bat. And for Gabriel Hopp, this is going to be his most important start because, as you say, there is not a big gap between 1st and 13th.
No, in terms of speed, the gaps are minimal between the entirety of the field, and it's a wonderful thing to see, of course, for us, but not a great thing if you are trying to win a race. It means you're under real pressure, and there's a lot of drivers who will be very similar to you in terms of speed. The drivers, of course, have a couple of minutes to get themselves onto the grid here, and Manuel Animo Vargas is using all of that time to get onto the grid. The Chilean, one of 2 in the field, of course, alongside Pablo Valenzuela, although the 2 are separated by a good 11 positions in qualifying. Looks like he might well have to stop from pit lane, Vargas. He has run out of time there, so he will have to start from pit lane. For the rest of them, the 21 drivers, the lights will come on here at Road America, and round 2 of the Super Formula Championship is underway. And what a good start from Jeff Groff, away from the pole position well 1 week ago, away well from 2nd here this week, and look at him come alongside on the left-hand side of Gabriel Hopp, the race winner from 1 week ago, trying to hold on to his lead early on here, but he can't quite do it. Groff goes round the outside, and he leads ahead of Gabriel Hopp. Then it's Victor Chamorro and Pablo Valenzuela, who are 3rd and 4th off this start, but it's Jeff Groff who takes the lead out of the first few corners for the first time.
And exactly what happened. Gabriel Hopp, he did not get it off the start line cleanly enough, and in that second phase, Groff had it hooked up and went absolutely motoring past. There's a massive dive on the inside there of Carson Keane over Christian Jasper. Keane still on the inside coming up to turn 6. The left-hander, is he going to be able to get it done? He's not. He's going to be a big brave boy if he's going to rack it round 7. Not this time, down into 8. Still not going to get there for Carson Keane. He's going to have to wait until the run out. The carousel, there's a flying car.
Oh, and I think it's been avoided by everybody. It's Long who's in the wall, Brian Long, who has gone off. It's very difficult to
foggy.
see. The mist. Here we go. Now, there he is off ahead of us here on the left-hand side on the way down towards turn 8, I think that is, here at Road America. There he is getting himself back out to the gravel again, along with somebody else who's got off to a fairly slow start
Benjamin.
here. So it's Brian Long, who very nearly gets into the back of somebody, in weaving to avoid them, has gone across the circuit and miraculously avoids everybody.
Yeah, and then Benjamin goes off not long after. You can see them there on the left-hand side. So I'm trying to sort of keep track. It is very foggy.
Oh dear, we've got a big incident at the final corner, or just before it. A multiple driver incident down at the back, I'm afraid, because the bottom 5 or so, bottom 6 have all off the road at the same time, as far as my time screw was telling me. Here we go. Oh dear, it's a huge smash. Bryce Benton is involved. Also down in pit lane, Joshua Benjamin, Matthew Rodriguez, William Love, Sam Marr, Zachary Lindler. They're all involved. It's the car on the outside who loses it right in front of the pack, and they all get involved in a big smash.
Is that Matthew Rodriguez in the air? It was.
Oh my goodness.
Looking
he
at
uses
the
the
moon.
back of someone as a ramp into the air. And there's a lot of damaged race cars down there. That's a real shame for about 5 drivers. Thankfully, their pit lane was only around the corner, and that most of them have gone in and out very quickly to get repairs done. But that's their race all but over in a very big crash. Big shame.
Yeah, lots of and that was just basically touching the grass. That's all it was. He touched the grass, he spun in front, and the problem is the field was so bunched up that everybody was there and nowhere for him to go. So it's very difficult for this situation, and I think that's the problem. Is they were very, very, very close together, and it's just nothing you could do about it on that moment in time. So yeah, very, very tough. I'd love to try and decipher that a little bit more. I'm wondering if it was Bryce Benton that went on to the grass. No, he's on the outside there.
No, it's the one ahead of him.
It's not Lindler, it's not Benton. 295.
295, Sam Mart, that is Samuel Mart, who's still down on pit lane, by the way. The instigator is now out of the pit. He's coming out the pit lane again. There is the rear end, and that's the rear end that was used as a ramp by, I think, Matthew Rodriguez. Goodness me, look at that. It's a humongous accident.
Yeah, absolutely horrendous. This might be better of an
he's
angle.
already going side by side into Bill Mitchell Bend with somebody, and he just, as you say, gets wide in the marbles and then in the grass, and then everybody behind just has nowhere to go, really.
No, and then look, straight up in the air, over the top. Thank God for the halo. And there's just bits of carbon fibre everywhere. One very expensive parking lot going there after lap 1 for them guys as well. So, yeah.
Off ahead, sorry. Chamorro just went wide, and Valenzuela's going to go around the outside through the carousel. That would be brave. Oh, and he's held on for quite a while, but can't quite do it in the end. So a small error, but he's not punished for it, Victor Chamorro. Although he might be down into Canada Corner. You really need a good run through the carousel if you want to be protected on the way to Canada Corner, because don't forget the kink is flat out in such high downforce machines. Down on the brakes they go. Round the outside for Chamorro. He's going to have to stay out of the gravel, and does very well to hold on from Valenzuela. Sears just behind along with Christian Jasper as well. This is a 4-driver battle for the final spot on the podium.
Yeah, this is coming around turn 14 now. Oh, he's on the grass. He's on the grass.
He's up again.
He's going to be able to stay there now. That's the problem. Watch this. It's going to be 3 cars all rushing in. He's trying to slot in. Oh, where are you going to go? You're going to... Don't make the
Jasper, look at this. It could be 4 wide. Very close. On the way towards turn 1. Valenzuela gets it. And Chamorro just about hangs on to 4th. That was so close to 4 wide, but it simply would not have worked.
No, that would have been absolutely chaos there, young sir. I can tell you that much. And thank God it wasn't quite taken there from Christian Jasper, Chris Sears and Victor Chamorro, all on the same boat. That would have been absolutely horrendous on the run down the marine sweep now down into turn 5. Careful on your moves.
Sears, and he's got it stopped. Well done. Sears down the inside into turn 5. He gets the place ahead of Chamorro, who drops to 5th, and then it's Christian Jasper 6th and Carson Keane, who's 7th. Frankie Brzezowski will try and catch up as a result of this as well. He's 8th, but he's a 1.5 behind at the moment. This is a great start to the race. Great action. Unfortunately, obviously, a big crash at the back of the field, and we mourn their absence at the front of the race. But look at this, the top 10 or so covered by a very small margin from the very front of the race, and engaged in a wonderful battle here. Look at this, 10 seconds covers the top 10, most of it in this large group that's provided fantastic racing so far.
Yeah, definitely, they're doing an absolutely great job. Christian Jasper sat kind of in the middle of this pack with Chamorro, Sears and Valenzuela in front of him. He's now got to make a decision. This is kind of where yeah. That was kind of a follow me leader situation for Christian Jasper. He looked like he just followed Victor Chamorro there. Everybody's going to be on their push to pass. Everybody isn't going to be saving a single ounce of this, as they need to make sure they can stay with the cars in front on that
Moody's
one. But
off.
Moody's off, yeah. I've just seen that pop up. Moody's off. Oh, Moody
It's
is
at the final
off.
corner. He hasn't hit the wall on the inside, is he? Is he just waiting? He might have hit the
he's
wall
off.
here. Oh, that's a good advertisement on the back. He just grabbed the grass, and yet he can't move. That's why he's got no rear left tyre anymore. Well, he can't move very well anyway. It's a very damaged machine, I'm afraid. he's trying to get that back, and he's had to go back down to pit lane, I'm afraid. That's a real shame for Moody, who was strong and quick, of course, but this car doesn't take any prisoners.
No, and it doesn't take much either, does it? We've discussed this before. One little kind of give it a little tap, and it all falls apart. It's just one of them things. A high speed, you know, pushing him to go. Oh! Chamora off the side of the circuit again. Yes.
Not again, surely.
Yeah, he's just run wide. But yeah, as you say, they're very fragile, these cars, and it doesn't take much.
No, certainly not. As we go on board with Chamorro, unfortunately lost quite a lot of places there, and he's dropped his place out of the group very quickly indeed. Looks like Lucas Moody is our first retirement of the day, but it's good to see that almost everybody, well, actually everybody of the big crash at the start of the race has re-emerged. Brian Long is on the back of Manuel Vargas here for 13th place, and that's Long down the inside getting through into 13th position. He begins his recovery after his moment in the gravel down at turn 8.
Yeah, absolutely. For Brian Long, I've predicted he might be able to get sort of middle of the range up to 8th, maybe, depending on how much he can shift that car along here as well. Gabriel Hopp just did, it was actually Valenzuela did the fastest lap last time out on a 1:41.98. So the times are getting quicker and quicker here, and it'd be interesting to see what they're going to be doing by the time they get to this middle of the road, end of the road kind of situation, round about lap 12-13, to see what the times they're doing. Free Flying Rider is in YouTube chat. It says, let's go Sis there. Chris is up 1 place, sitting in 4th at this moment in time.
Yeah, doing well. Set a personal best on that last lap, although it was half a second slower than Pablo Valenzuela, who's the first driver into the 141s throughout the race. What I've noticed this week, actually, a lot more than last week, and I don't know whether that's because I'm looking out for it more or whether it's happening more, but the flashing lights just above their heads, or where their head would be, are on a lot more, and the overtake button has been used quite a lot early on as well. 200 seconds throughout 24 laps is an average of about 8 seconds per lap on the button. That's quite a lot, even for Road America. So, you know, it's actually a mission somewhat for these guys to actually use up the 200 seconds. Some places you're really trying to manage it, but I do feel like 200 seconds is quite a lot of boost for a race of this length. But they're all trying to use it, and at the moment it's creating some great moments like we just saw in that battle for third place. For example, I just worry that it's not really being used as much of an advantage at the moment. If everybody's got loads of seconds to burn, is it really an advantage to have? I'm not sure.
I don't know, because it depends on how long you use it for. Some people will be sensible, right? But you could count along here. He's not on it because he's not on his steering wheel. But you can count it. Obviously, you go up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe you might be on it for 10 seconds here. And then you go round to Marine Sweep, where it's going to be another 5-second burst. So that might be 15 seconds per lap. So 200 in general is only going to last, what's that, 115 seconds per lap. 10 laps is 150 seconds. Probably middle of the road, 15 laps. He's on it now. You can see here.
Yeah, there he goes, as he uses it to make an overtake on Nicholas Karangis, or does he? He needs to be brave on the brakes as well, and Karangis was more brave but not through, and so Brian Long does get up to 12th position. So he dips below 150 seconds, 6 laps into the race. That's exactly where you need to be. He's just got through a quarter of his 200 seconds, and we're a quarter of the way through the race. As just around the corner here, Anthony Zeitz is off the road in exactly the same way we saw him do immediately as we started this broadcast, I think. Though it may well have worse consequences this time round. He's down to 14th, and he may have hit the wall, I'm not sure, but he's certainly lost a load of places.
Yeah, he has here as well, unfortunately.
Oh, it's exactly the same. It's almost a replay of practice.
Yep. Yeah. It's amazing what we see when we sit here and look at practice and see that happening as Karangis and also Manuel Vargas going side by side here. Oh dear.
Yep.
Big old slide.
Very big slide there for Karangis. Up to 12th place for him. Cousin Keane, by the way, is gaining time, and he set the fastest lap time of them all. Last time round, and now he's going for 5th position. Jasper trying to prevent that from happening. You can see the flashing going on now. The button will be used down here as they get out of turn 3 and let rip now. Tomorrow is going to try and get involved here too. Look at him flashing the lights, but he can't go anywhere. He's going to try and make it free. Wide is he? Down on the left-hand side, there's not quite the space for him there as Keane and Jasper take up all the road down the hill here towards turn 5. They both need to be brave on the brakes. Tomorrow might try and take them both. Oh, he can't quite get the exit that he needed, and Jasper holds on to 5th position in good defensive work in the end. He was under a lot of pressure there from the fastest driver in this race right now, but he's held on to 5th for now.
Yeah, he definitely did. He was holding on like an absolute trooper to try and defend as much as he can. He just managed to survive that one. Rodriguez and Bryce Benton have both jumped back to the pits. I'm not entirely sure what they've got up to. I was going to have a look, but then this battle started. But Jasper, Keane and Chamorro are not giving up here, and I don't expect Chamorro to even give up remotely one bit. He's going to have a go at Keane. As often as you can see Keane's now running alongside Crispin Jasper down into Canada corner. Keane's going to go in too hot. Jasper's going to come back on the inside now through the left-hander of 13. And are they going to be able to make it through cleanly side by side in the 14, Ewan?
Wow. Spectacular. Keane was so late on the brakes there into Canada corner, but Jasper was later into the final turn, and now Keane goes through, surely using some of that energy, and now here comes Chamorro as well, down on the outside line, but he's got no slipstream. Keane tries to give him some on the way towards turn 1. It will be Brave around the outside. Instead, it's Jasper Brave on the brakes into turn 1. He dives down the inside. It allows Chamorro to go round the outside, and it's almost like we've got a replay with the roles reversed, and now Jasper defends a bit better this time in towards turn number 3. Here comes Chamorro in the slipstream again, not using any of that extra power, and he's going to get surely beaten in a straight line, and he does. By Jasper, it's going to have to be on the brakes if he wants to make this work. Now he goes for it. Oh, it's late, but he gets there, and Jasper forced right to the very edge around turn 5. Into 6 he goes, round the outside here as well. It will give him the inside at 7 if he can stay there, and he does. He holds on to 6th position eventually, but this battle is not over.
No, definitely not over. Jasper and Chamorro still going off around the carousel. You can see Chamorro sitting in 7th, climbing all over the back of Jasper. Then we got Breskowski trying to get involved. Carson Keane said, I'm off, guys. See you later. He's gone down the road 2.5 seconds already. Chamorro and Jasper just not stopping here. Down through the left-hand, right-hander of the King. Now coming down into Canada corner. Who's going to be on the brakes? Chamorro's on the right. And now, here we go. Is it going to be on? It's contact!
Oh, how's he kept it on the road there? Oh, he hasn't. Oh, Chamorro's gone. He's done the hard bit by keeping it on the road, and he lost it on the traction.
Oh, Victor Chamorro tried his absolute utmost to keep that car going forward. We've also got Zilch, Manuel Vargas and Caranges having a great little scrap further down here. These guys literally going at it hell to leather, as well as the front guys are. So there's battles all the way through. But Breskowski is now caught up, cleared Jasper. Jasper's got to go after him, and Breskowski's going after Keane.
Well, that was spectacular, and not in a good way for Chamorro, actually, who's now on the back of Stafford for 10th position in this race. Down the hill they'll go, these two, battling for 6th position, and as you say, Brzezowski gaining a couple of positions as a result of that battle he just watched unfold in front of him. He's gone too deep there, he'll be in trouble though, and here comes Jasper back to the inside at turn 6. Oh, that's a brave move. You don't see that very often. An exit from 5 and a move firing down the inside at 6, but he's on the outside at 7. He was not fazed by that last lap, and he won't be this lap either, and he returns to 6th position.
Yeah, him and Breskowski are going to have a great little scrap on the run round the carousel now. As in fact, as I say that, Breskowski gets it all a little bit wrong. Chamorro and Stafford, I don't think Stafford's going to really want to get involved with Chamorro here, but I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying he might not want to. And then you got Vargas, Courageous and Zitch having a great little battle further down. So pockets of cars starting to come back together now. Believe it or not, we're only on lap 10, Mr. O'Leary, and we've still got 14 to go. Yeah,
would you believe it? Gabriel Hopp still leading, by the way, ahead of Jeff Brock. Oh, that's a dive. That is a dive from Tomorrow, and he's carted Stafford off the road there by the looks of that. He may well get himself into a bit of trouble after the race for that one.
Yeah, he definitely come from a long way back. Yeah. Although it was done and Stafford last and stayed on the obviously technically on the raised surface with a little bit of running off to the left, I suppose from that point of view, did he really lose as much time? But now he's going to go back at Chamorro, and Stafford sat in the draft, so he can go back at him, and he is going to go back in. And yeah, I think he let him through.
He may have done, yeah. He may have just let him back through again there. So you could have another go down into turn 5. If you do it early enough, then you get yourself a chance into the next braking zone, and that is what it's looking like for Chamorro here down the hill, and Stafford will hang on this time round. So it's about recovery now for Chamorro. I'm still slightly bemused as to how he actually lost the car in that initial incident, as by the way Carson Keen's gone off at turn 8 just up ahead here. So look at Felipe Salvino. This is where Chamorro lost it.
Yeah.
Is that him? Oh, that's him getting back going again, is it?
Yeah, that was that was how he saved it. He hit the grass.
I didn't see him hit the grass on the outside first time, so it was a hangover from hitting the grass. So no, he didn't hit the grass there. He
got
just lost it on his own.
Now watch the other side. There.
And then he hits the grass here.
Then he hits the grass, and as you know, slick tyres on grass, no grip whatsoever. And then unfortunately he goes around. But Jeff Groff is finding himself under attack from Valenzuela here.
It's a very similar story to last round, this, for Jeff Groff, who started it pretty well. Was leading, of course, because he was the pole sitter 1 week ago, and he was the leader earlier on here too. But now he's coming under pressure, and looks like he might well have to resign for third, as Christian Jasper's gone back into pit lane and escaped back to pit lane. Don't know why, but he and Carson Keen have both dropped positions in these last couple of moments as we approach off distance here at Road America. See what happened to Keen. Down into turn 8. Oh, he broke on the grass. Oh dear.
Not good.
And have to wait to rejoin. This is Jasper. And it's that outside at the final corner again, and he loses his front end and his front right wheel. Oh, and his front left. Oh, he can't turn. Oh, God.
And that's why he jumped back into the pits. Yeah. So, big moments for people at the front here, which could open it up to the people like Felipe Salvino, who's gone round, he's done his business, and how many places did he gain at this moment in time? 13. Stunning job.
Wow. Fantastic job from him, although I'm going to take one away from him because it will have given him a position for overtaking Manuel Vargas when he didn't actually. But anyway, let's brush past that. He's done a very good job.
We don't need to be pedantic about it. He's got 13 spots.
Yeah, that is a bit overly pedantic. I'm sorry, but yes, he's gained 13. We'll give him the credit. And don't forget, of course, apologised for his absence 1 week ago. Said that he'd be back for the rest of the season, I think and hope, and he's making a good early impression. It just showed that, I think we talked about this last week as well, having a strategy of just staying out of trouble is actually not a bad one. As Pablo Valenzuela goes through on Jeff Groff, it's less about just staying out of trouble if you're up at the top here, but it's about being quick at the same time, and Pablo Valenzuela certainly is that. He set the best lap time of any during that last lap, a 1:41.6. It's 3 tenths quicker than anybody's gone today, and not only will he be looking at consolidating second place here, surely he's going to be looking at the lead too.
Yeah, he's got to be. He's not that far away. 1.9 seconds currently as they go down into turn 5. Groff's going to want to try and stay with Valenzuela as much as possible. Valenzuela's up 1 place from where he qualified in third up into second. 2.4. Well, it looks like Gabriel I was hoping out the time on his own there. It was 2.4. It's gone out to 2.5 already as Groff and Valenzuela are tucked in behind each other. So if these guys continue to fight, that gap up front's going to grow. So they've got to be a little bit mindful of that situation.
Yep, they do. Although I think Valenzuela's clear now. Maybe Hot was waiting for this moment to strike. It is interesting, actually. Going to be interesting, I should say, to see what time he sets as he goes over the line here. Is he starting to use some of those seconds up as well here, Hot? Because when you're not embroiled in battles, I've experienced this myself, when you're not embroiled in battles, you're driving on your own. Whether it is the lead or not, you are not generally reaching for the button But Hop may well have been, and he's been off the road there extensively. He's been in the gravel, and we could have a change of leads here. Pablo Valenzuela senses the opportunity here. Let's have a look what happened. He's an unforced error. He just went very wide into the corner, went into the gravel, and have a look at this. He immediately goes on the defensive from Valenzuela, who surely will find out in replay whether he goes through or not. But surely the momentum here for Gabriel Hop is not enough, and he goes down to third place. We've got a race on as Gabriel Hop loses the lead through an unforced error.
Yeah, he is. You see, this is the replay of how this one was done. And Valenzuela, there was a little bit of an argy-bargy moment. But he did get through. Groff's not going to give that up, and is sure we'll come back even more fighting as these three cars. There they are, the three gladiators. You can see now. Groff's trying to get the inside again. Is he going to have the inside over Valenzuela? He is. What about Gabriel Hop? Is he going to try and go round there at the same time? They're not, as they're entering up into the left-hander of turn 7 now. Groff, Valenzuela and Gabriel Hop not very far apart. And see Chris Sears going to come and join the party as well. This is going to be a four-way fight for the lead very, very shortly. And at the moment, it seems like Gabriel Hop's he must have. He's the slowest out of all of them.
Unless he's struggling catastrophically with the dirty air all of a sudden. I think he's got damage. Trying to get a look at that front wing. I'm not sure all of that front wing's there at the moment. See if we can get an angle to try. We're going through all the iRacing camera angles, and there is the disjointed front right. Look, the front right wing is not quite right. I think he's struggling with understeer due to front wing damage. Does he decide to come into pit lane and fix this, or does he soldier on? He's going to carry on, but he's going to be limping home.
Yeah, he is. You can see Sears is now going to come and get him at the same time. Sears is going to go through.
For the lead.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it. Venezuela and Groff. I've got it.
Valenzuela gets the lead again ahead of Groff, and now will he be able to get away? Because when they were battling for second place, Valenzuela looked a lot quicker than Groff, but now there's a race win on the line.
Yeah, there is, and Sears is not going to give up, and he's going to come and join the party as well. He's trying to break the draft to Gabriel Hop here, who's clearly got damage. It looks like Jasper's been off the side of the circuit again. Andy Zich is having a battle with Chamorro and Stafford. They're still fighting out in the middle, down in 9th, 10th and 11th. So we'll see how that one goes. Rodriguez is in the pits. Benjamin is out, but that's because he's jumped back to the pits and he did some unruly thing that's caused his car to break, clearly, for Joshua Benjamin. And do we have enough time? Yes, we do. They're just going in the carousel. He's going to spin that up and put that in the wall on the left-hand side. There we go.
Yeah, that was actually worse than it was looking initially, yes. But he's hit the wall twice there, one with the front and one with the rear, and that's a pretty damaged car, and he may well be our third retirement alongside Moody and Benson, who are down on pit lane at the moment. Well, what a first 15 laps we've had here. 9 laps still to go, and this has been absolutely fantastic entertainment so far. In terms of those who did well last week, doing well again here, Gabriel Hop, of course, is 4th after winning last time. Pablo Rubi's not here. Jeff Groff finished on the podium last week and looks at the moment like the only driver who may well finish on the podium 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he's driving really well, but he doesn't look like he's quite got the pace of Valenzuela. It looks like Valenzuela's just got the pace a little bit more. Hop is in pit lane. Oh no, He's jumped back to the pits. Yeah,
he's had another crash here. And it's not it's the final corner again.
Ow! Everything's gone.
Oh dear, Gabriel Hop. Well, we're going to have a new championship leader, and I don't think it's going to be Gabriel Hop at the end of the day, with Valenzuela and Sears. Of course, Valenzuela making his first appearance of the season, and Sears finishing down in 6th 1 week ago. It looks like Jeff Groff is going to be the new championship leader. And as you were making the point before Hop crashed, consistency is what is bringing Groff that point score at the moment. He's not been the quickest, neither last week in the race pace anyway. He was quickest in qualifying, but not race pace. And neither here, I don't think he's been the quickest either on paper. However, he is the most consistent. He's never looked like crashing, frankly.
No, he hasn't. And what is going on down here? Oh, it's just got to try to go in the inside. So I was getting back to it, but they were flicking backwards and forwards there as well. I think for Jeff Groff, he's got to admit where he's going to be. If he knows he hasn't got the pace of, say, to Venezuela, but he's got the pace to stay in front of Sears, there's no point pushing to try and catch Venezuela, because otherwise it could just completely ruin your race, right? So drive within your own kind of means and your own ability. I'm saying that, I'm probably the worst one to go out in a car and thinking I'm Ayrton Senna and I end up being nothing more than Nikita Mazepin. It's one of them things, unfortunately. But he's got to, for Jeff Groff, who's a lot more better at this car than I would be, drive within your ability. And if you haven't got the pace, don't worry, you're still in second place, you've still got points on the board, but it does look like the sun's come out now as well, and I'm wondering if the weather's going to start getting, because it was 71 when we started, it's now 75, so we've gone up 4 degrees already.
We got Zachary Lindner off, I'm afraid, further down, and he loses a place to Jasper, who's recovering, of course, from those earlier incidents further down in the field, as we see somebody
Lindner, it was Lindner.
getting laps there.
It was Zachary Lindner.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, at that moment you were talking about him.
Oh, yeah. Yep, okay, that's a coincidence. But Lender's back on again. He's 17th, but he's had to let these three through as well. Valenzuela was quicker last time round than anybody had been before in this race. 41.3, and to your point about the track conditions just heating up, they're getting a little bit more ideal for those kind of times, because you don't want it to be too cold, but it getting to an optimum temperature now with this track as we go down to 8th place again, and Bronson Stafford trying to get through on Anthony Zachin at the moment can't quite do that. With Chamorro and Manuel Vargas, the two drivers behind as well.
Yeah, they're closing up. We're going to have a nice little 4-car fight soon. I'm wondering, though, with Chamorro and his pace he's got here, how long he's going to want to get stuck behind these guys. Not that there's any disrespect to Anthony Zitch or Stafford either, but I'm looking at their best times of 1:42.59, 1:42.96. And then you got Chamorro on a 1:42.21, so he's literally 7 to 8 tenths quicker than both of these guys over these over their best times. So it'd be interesting there, and it looks like Anthony Zitch is out of
Already?
Well, it's got a red light.
He does, yeah, but that seems impossible, to be honest.
Well, it clearly isn't.
It clearly is possible. Well, he's been very thirsty with the seconds.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, well, so he's going to get swallowed up here, I fear, later on, because he's going to find passing quite difficult, but he's going to find it quite easy to get past very shortly as he sets a new personal best. It's not holding him back that much, clearly, but so looking to see if it was if that colour changed over the line. No, I thought initially whether that was a limit on him using it in one lap, but it's not. It really is out. So he is toast, and he's going to be in trouble now. I mean, he was struggling to hold back Stafford when he had that extra power, and, well, he's surely going to find it even more difficult now.
Yeah, it's now stopped flashing. It's now just gone to red. Now, normally when he's out, the light goes off. And I'm not showing that he's out. I'm showing he's still got time remaining. But why is he low? That's where I was going to go next, actually, was whether or not he was going to be low on it. I'm just going to see if he's going to do anything in the cockpit here to give me any form of inclination of whether or not he's actually using it, because he's opening up the gap to Stafford. It's now over a second, and for somebody who hasn't got any push to pass remaining, I would have thought he would have been eaten alive, to be blatantly honest.
I've got my nose on the screen trying to see if there's a reading on the steering wheel. I can't see one, unless you know any better. But I can't see one there. Chamorro and Vargas going side by side briefly there, but Chamorro hangs on again as we go on board with Vargas now. We believe he does have some energy to use here, and he will use it, of course, as we enter the final quarter of this race.
Yeah, he should do. If he's got anything left now, he should be on it and go for it now. Clearly he's trying to use the natural draft to pull him up, but we've got Brian Long, Carson Keane and Salvino have come very close together all of a sudden. There's still no push to pass being used at all from Vargas there. What about going down into turn 3? Nothing being used again. Is he going to hope that the shorter straight of 5 he might be able to use a little bit more? Is he just completely forgetting he's got the button? Or is he just trying to use natural draft to see? And at the moment he's using natural draft. He's pulled out to the left-hand side here as Vargas, sorry. And he's
very
got in
deep.
too
Oh
deep.
no, way too deep.
Too deep there. I'm going to go up here because Carson Keane, Savinio and Brian Long were very close together there as well.
For 5th place, the only battle inside the top 5 that looks still to be decided, although the battle for 2nd may well be argued about later. Gabriel Hop's back out on the circuit again. He hasn't made another error, has he? Into Canada corner. No, he has just come to a stop. And he turns back to pit lane. So, is that Hop done for the day again? Well, he's not going to drop any lower than 18th, I suppose, but how many points is that? It's only 7. He will get 1 more point, of course, for the pole position as well, but not many points, especially when you consider Jeff Groff is going to be getting over 20, you would expect, in this race, and so that championship lead is going to be very short-lived, I'm afraid, for Gabriel Hop, last week's winner.
Yeah, but we're still only 2 races in, right? So let's just see how he gets on and what he can recover from and what it's going to be like next week. I think that's the thing. We're very early on in this season and, we can't count anybody out, can we? Let's be real about it. So let's just see how these guys get on for this week, and he's going to have to take it on the chin and get on with it as Carson Keane runs past Savino down into turn 5. He's going to try the outs. Oh, Savino could have made that a lot more difficult than it was.
That was very close to contact. Savino makes a pretty late move to defend from Long there, who was looking like he would go down the inside. He didn't quite do it in the end, but Savino did make absolutely sure of it in a battle for what's now 6th place. It looks like after having made that pass, Carson Keane is looking pretty good for 5th now.
Yeah, Carson Keane seems to be settled in. The question will be, can he get any further up? He's got 4.5 seconds over Brzezowski. Savino now has got Brian Long tucked in right behind him. Is 4.5 seconds too much? I think, well, saying that, he's got to pull a second and lap out. He's only got 4 laps to go here. Long's going to try and go around the outside. Is he going to be able to get this done over Savino coming through Canada corner? Not this time. Up through 13A, the left-hander down into turn, coming into 14, which is the final corner here. And Long, and he's lost his front wing.
Oh, he's lost his front wing. Brian Long just getting into the back of Savino. And unfortunately, he will have to come back into pit lane. Through goes Anthony Zeitz into 7th. This will be quite a camera angle. We're going to have that diffuser stuffed in our face in a second. There you go. Pretty small contact, actually, but pretty disastrous consequences. Oh, he's carrying on. Oh, dear. Well, this can't go well, can it? Oh, no. Oh, this is a terrible error. Brian Long's carried on here, and meanwhile, Victor Tomorrow is getting bullied off the road by somebody. That was quite aggressive, pretty rude. From who was that?
I think that was Vargas in front. Yeah, I think him and Vargas were having a bit of a ding-dong. And he literally, Vargas just kind of almost bullied him there. If we have a look at the actual overtake manoeuvre, watch, he goes in and just kind of bullies him out the way.
No, it wasn't actually as rude as I thought, actually. It wasn't terrible.
He just bullied him. That was all it was. He just got his elbows out and went down on the inside of him.
I don't think there was anything wrong. Now I've seen it a second time, but there we go. Tomorrow's come in and back out again, so he's now 11th, just in behind Nicholas Carantis, who's now back into the top 10. Brian Long has come into the pit lane, as you'd expect, because with that front wing, he was struggling to turn, funnily enough. And he is joining a number of other drivers who may well stay in the pit lane for the remainder. Did turn 1 and turn 3 and had seen enough by that point. And that's a shame, because His recovery drive was going fantastically well. He was down in 22nd and last after that incident on lap 1 at turn 8. He recovered really well, but unfortunately it's all come undone towards the end there.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, for Brian Long, he was doing so well there. Downforce Gaming, is this racing better than the IGP lights?
Oh, controversial
so
there.
Don't even go there, because that's not really fair, Downforce, knowing that we broadcast both series. That is not fair, but I would say they're just as important and as each other. The racing is both good in both series.
I'm not going to say that, actually.
Go on. Don't sit on the fence to get splinters in that bum of yours, Mr. O'Leary.
I'm going to sit on the fence so hard I'm going to have splinters in my backside. That's the situation we find ourselves in. But no, I have really enjoyed this race. Couple of laps to go, and it's not over yet. Vargas has caught Stafford here, and we may well get one more battle before we send you off for the evening as well. But this has been a fantastic race. I said at the start that these cars, to me, kind of look, and in any case, commentating on these is a bit like commentating on Indy cars. I'm sure it's very different when you're actually down there driving, but I haven't driven either, so I wouldn't know what that's like. But it does feel very similar, and Indy cars go well around here at Road America, and so do these cars, it turns out, as well. This has been a fantastic race, and we've got some wonderful tracks coming up as well. The first 5 weeks, of course, here live, and with no break weeks either here on the JPB YouTube channel. Spa, Silverstone and Sebring as well to take us to the break. What an opening to this calendar. If Road America has delivered a race like this, then surely Spa and Silverstone in the next 2 weeks can deliver something just as good.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Sebring, though. The bumps are going to be absolutely horrendous in these cars, so that could be an interesting one. Downforce has now come out and said, I don't race in either, just wondering. I've gotten some of your YouTube shorts in my feed recently. Keep it up. Thank you so much for that one. Yeah, that was a bit of an unfair question. You know what I mean?
Hospital pass.
Yes.
They call those.
but they're both as good as each other, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we enjoy all the broadcasts we do on the JP YouTube channel. You know, we're not going to rank them.
No,
that would be a quick way to lose all but one.
We'll just keep Brian's. Everybody else's will be like, no, right, James has said that, we're off. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
so we'll just sit on the fence quite happily on that one. Thank you very much, there, Mr. Downforce Gaming.
We'll be picking splinters out of all sorts of crevices for the evening. Meanwhile, out of the final corner comes Jasper, as he's just gotten through William Love, who very nearly lost the car entirely there. And just behind him is Pablo Valenzuela, about to start his final lap of the race. The white flag waves at Road America. He's about to put another car a couple of laps down, but more importantly, he's on his way to a race win.
Yeah, if he can just hold it there. I almost thought that was going to be a problem for him then, because William Love was having a good old go at Jasper, and he come out the final corner and he put the power down too quick and got a big old wiggle on, and Valenzuela was just coming around the corner there. How is this going to feel for Christian Jasper just about to be lapped?
Yeah, not going to feel amazing, I'm afraid.
That is almost like vinegar in the mouth, isn't it? That for him.
However, it's not. He will take some solace from his speed early on in the race, and of course late on as well, and from the fact that he's not been lapped on pure speed here, but he has had incidents along the way.
Yeah, but it still doesn't feel right. It doesn't matter whether or not you were lapped on speed, on pace, or you were lapped because it still isn't feeling very right that you've been lapped on the final lap of the race, and you've got William Love who's climbing all over the back end of you here, and he's just about to try and make the move down into Canada corner.
And this is, of course, the final lap of their race too. Oh, he tries to go around the outside Jasper, but he goes in far too quickly, and he will drop down to 14th place. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Pablo Valenzuela is going to take a race win. After qualifying down in 3rd position, he's taken advantage of the issues for Gabriel Hopp. He's overtaken Jeff Groff, and he's a race winner in the SR4S Super Formula Championship here at Road America. Jeff Groff, 5 seconds down, will be licking his wounds again, but he will be the championship leader after just 2 rounds. the only driver to finish on the podium twice, because Chris Sears will join them on the bottom step in third.
Yeah, Chris is there doing a great job, and you are right, that was messy downforce. We'll have a look at Christian. Oh, Jasper's off track. This was going to be a Stratford and Vargas run down to the final line, down to the line. I think it still might be, if we can try and catch as much as this. Is he going to be out? I think Stafford's going to keep this one. I don't think Vargas, no, is not close enough to get a nice little run down to the line there. But that was a little bit scrappy from Jasper and William Love there. Oh, Jasper went in far too hot. Yeah, it was all on Jasper, unfortunately. It was nothing to do with Love at all.
You don't often find a driver grabbing the tyre wall down there either. That was really late on the brakes, unfortunately. But he was trying everything to get there. In the end, you will finish with 12 points today, finishing in 14th. Victor tomorrow will be pretty disappointed as well, I think, to be outside of the top 10. He was right up there in the conversation for even podium places at a certain point, but he finishes in 11th ahead of Greg Doucette, who is the final driver to finish on the lead lap. Well, that was a fantastic race. 24 laps of pure breathless action here at Road America. What a great start to the season we have had. First of all with Suzuka 1 week ago, and now this.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing start, to be honest with you. Yes, you are right there, Brian. I know you're in YouTube chat. Camera angle was Yankee on the business, on the broadcast. I just watched that live replay. Christian locked up, and he did lock up there as these two guys having a little bit of a, tandem team photo thing. I wasn't quite really sure what to say, but that works. Look at that. There you go. Nice photo opportunity.
Haven't they?
Yeah, they are good.
A good livery, I like this livery. And you can actually tell them apart as well, which is always a commentator's preference. The yellow on the right-hand side, of course, and the white on the left. There you can see, number 17, like Greg Doucette on the right-hand side, and Karangis on the other. Yeah, so very helpful, very nice liveries as well. But here are the race results after 24 laps of racing, just over 5 seconds between Pablo Valenzuela and Jeff Groff, with Chris Sears finishing on the podium too. Frankie Brzezowski overcomes the disappointment of 1 week ago to finish fourth ahead of Carson Keane. Felipe Salvino was overtaken for that position fairly late on, but finishes ahead of Anthony Zeitz. Then it was Bronson Stafford who held off Manuel Vargas at the end there, with Nicholas Karangis, the final driver, in the top 10. Victor Tomorrow and Greg Doucette were the final drivers on the lead lap. William Love beat Christian Jasper to the line for 13th in that late battle we saw with Zachary Lindler, 15th. Samuel Mark recovered from that opening lap smash down at the Bill Mitchell Bend to finish in 16th, ahead of those who were many laps down in the end. Brian Long, 4 laps down in 17th. Gabriel Hopp, a very disappointing 18th for him. 19th, by the way, was Joshua Benjamin, followed by Matthew Rodriguez, Bryce Benton, and Lucas Moody, who finished in 22nd in that race. I had a question come in, by the way, in YouTube chat that I'll address quickly before we get to interviews, if we do get any, and we will do. The green lights on the top indicate the push to pass. When it's lit up in green, it means there is some left, but they're not using it. When it's flashing, it means they're on the button and they're using it. And there you can see the example of the light there. If it goes orange, which I've never seen before, we're presuming that means it's low or out, maybe. We need to chat to the drivers about that, probably, because...
there's 3 of them now. I've never seen that before either, so...
Exactly. So we're not sure. Let's jump into some interviews then, starting with Pablo Valenzuela, who...
Oh, hold on.
I'm not sure who...
hold on. You're going 1, 2, 3. I thought you were going 3 to 1. My bad. Go on, carry on. I'll just sit here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I'm going 1, 2, 3. Pablo Valenzuela,
okay, cool.
Welcome in. Good to have you with us. Sorry for the chaos.
It's been the Chuckle Brothers booth.
It is a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that race. I mean, winner by 5 seconds in the end, which is maybe a bigger gap than really tells the full story. How did you find Road America in your preparation for this, and how did you find the race?
Yeah, it was a pretty hectic race. Is with these cars, with this combination with a fast track, is pretty hectic, really. You are like pumping all the race since the start. You are like 110%. but you try to have to keep it cool. There is a long race, so I try to have a longer view of the race. Try not to get involved in too many fights at the beginning. If I have to yield, I have to yield. But in the end, that will come up. I don't like to burn the rears. This track is a fast track. This is a fast car, and it has a lot of weight on the wings. I mean, aerodynamic weight. So you can, if you overdrive the car too soon, you will have issues with the grip at the half or the end of the stint, depending how hard you try.
And how important?
But was amazing.
Sorry. How important is that sort of tyre management throughout the race, and how much do you think that actually played into your hands in the end, where actually you were gaining a lot of time over Jeff and extending that margin by quite a long way? Do you think that was down to your tyre management?
Yeah, I think it helps a little bit at the beginning. I saw Jeff struggling a bit at the last quarter of the race. I mean, like the last 10 laps, maybe. And yeah, at the start of the race, at least the 5 or 6 first laps, I tried to be very careful with the throttle and try to be thinking at the long term. And I think it helps a bit. At the end, I was the last couple of laps, I was with a lot of rear movement, but I think it helps a bit. It wasn't that much. I mean, maybe, but it wasn't that much. That 5 seconds. A little error here in this track with the grass besides the concrete, and you will lose that 5 seconds in a glimpse.
Yeah, very true, very true. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, big shout out for the team, Final Lap, all the guys over there that are making his own championships too. All the family, like always, to you guys for the broadcast, it's awesome. And Brian, to organizer of the league, that he makes a head of the work over here.
Thanks very much. Congratulations on the race win here this evening, and thanks for coming to chat to us as well.
Yeah, thanks to you guys. See you next time.
See you next week. Thanks very much, Pablo Valenzuela. They're the winner tonight in Road America. Jeff Groff, second place, and on the podium again, but just coming up short of the race victory. Congratulations, Jeff, on another podium for the second week in a row. And I'm going to open again with the question that I think I asked you last week as well, but it feels relevant to this one too. Does it again feel like a second place won or a win lost, if you see what I mean? Which are you feeling positive after that?
Oh, I'm definitely feeling positive. Top 3 in this league with Pablo, Gabriel, all these, Carson, Christian. I mean, we've got some fast guys. Chris Sears was really fast today. I mean, we have some good racing here. So I'm not going to take any negative from what we accomplished today. So I'm good with it.
I mean, what about those battles you were having as a trio at one stage, where Gabriel Hopp, of course, had that incident fairly towards the midpoint of the race and dropped away, but you and Pablo were very close for a while as well, and you were involved in those battles. Just what's that like to be involved in as a driver? It's absolutely breathless stuff to watch, but how is it to be involved as a driver?
Well, Road America, it's all about the draft. If you lose that draft, it's just they're gone. So it was a game of just staying in someone's draft and trying to lose it by pushing that overtake as far as you can without having for them to catch up and use that overtake later. So yeah, it was a big game of chess, and I mean, Pablo and Gabriel, they just have the pace, and I just got fortunate that they came together on turn 1.
Well, you certainly earned that second place here once again. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, my wife Kaylee, my kids Dylan, Olivia, and Nathan. Destino Motorsports, Go Squadra. My teammate Christian Jasper. You guys for putting on a great broadcast in the league. Love SR4S.
Absolutely. Great to have you along for another week. Congratulations on second place, and we'll see you in 7 days' time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jeff Groff, the runner-up for tonight's race at Road America. Time to bring in the third-placed driver and the driver on the bottom step of the podium, Chris Sears. Welcome in, Chris. Good to have you with us for this. Qualified in fifth, moved up to third throughout the race. How pleased are you with that performance?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. It's hard to explain. I mean, I can't remember what I started. Maybe P6, P5. I had to make an early overtake on Victor Chamorro. He was defending pretty hard, but I went for kind of a switchback dive bomb and ended up working out. And then from there, I just had to pace. At the end, I was catching Jeff, but I really burnt through the rear tires to try and catch to him. So at the end, I actually had to back off. Like, there's no way that I could catch him at the end. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm like incredibly stoked to be P3. It's my first podium in the league, so I'm really happy.
I bet. I mean, Pablo mentioned the rear tyre wear as well as something to be managed. How much was that specific to Road America and the way that this circuit works with quite a lot of traction zones? And how much of a factor is it going to be going forward into circuits, more flowing circuits maybe coming up in the next couple of weeks over in Europe at Spa and Silverstone? How much of a factor is it going to be there?
Yeah, I think Silverstone is probably going to be rear limited. I don't even know if that's the right term, but basically I think it's going to be hard on the rears because there's so many fast sweeping corners and you're going from left to right to left, like Maggots and Beckett's, like that section. I can imagine there being some type of wear as well. Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be rear problems there. That's going to be an interesting one because of there's so many fast corners. So I'm curious how the setup's going to be, but it's kind of similar to Road America, where at the end, because you have that sweeping parabolica and you've been trying to get the rears in the whole time, the last 5 laps they get in, but the rest of the course it's so twitchy. You know what I mean? So it's like you gain in one area, but in the other areas it becomes harder to drive. So yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at those rounds in a couple of weeks, of course. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my teammate, Anthony Lucero, Torta Racing. It's my endurance race teammate. Yeah, everyone that is close to me, for sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations on third. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks very much, Christopher Sears there. Third in tonight's race at Road America. Well, that was a lot of fun. 24 laps of pretty breathless action. And at the end of it all, Pablo Valenzuela to become our second different race winner in 2 rounds. I wonder how long we can keep going on with the different race winners thing, but we'll find out next time out at Silverstone. We're set up for such a fantastic season. I've been thoroughly impressed and enjoyed the first couple of rounds of this championship. It's been great action. Surely it's only going to continue into Spa and Silverstone, the first European leg coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it should be a fun one, shouldn't it? Let's be real. You've got the iconic Spa and you've got Silverstone as well. The home of British motorsport. Oh, what more could we ask for? Let's hope we can keep up with these 22 drivers on the grid, because that would be absolutely amazing.
Certainly would, and I hope that everybody's enjoyed themselves on the circuit, because then they'll come back. And I hope everybody has enjoyed watching the broadcast as well, indeed live or retrospectively. Thanks very much for your company over the course of the night. Plenty more racing coming up next week, of course, on the JPB YouTube channel, so make sure you lend us a subscription and check out some other racing going on throughout the week. Time for me and James, though, to stop talking to each other as for the end of our third broadcast of the day, because it's that's what we've done. But so this we'll end the broadcast here. Thanks very much for tuning in again. We'll be back again next week for round 3 coming to you from Spa. But until then, from myself, Ian Leary and James Parfitt, it's goodbye for now.